family go home, have sex, and then the next day you have
Okay, we're doing the commentary on episode 40, Revelations 21. So, there are many notes. When John sees a new Jerusalem descending from heaven, as well as a new earth, he reveals that believers' final destiny is not heaven, but earth. Only this new earth will no longer be plagued by the powers of evil, sin, death, and Satan. The sea of the old earth represented all the evil, violence, and unrest that seemed to come out of it. It is the first of 7 listed evils that will not exist in God's new creation. So we're going to have a new earth. There'll be a new heavens and a new earth. The new earth will hold all of humanity. There's going to be no more oceans. I'm sure there'll be streams and rivers and lakes. It's going to be, the whole world will be like a Garden of Eden. It's going to be great. It is the first of 7 listed evils, the ocean, that will not exist in God's new creation. The other evils are death, sorrow, crying, pain, night. There'll be no more night. The world will be perpetually lit by God's glory. And the curse, such as weeds, insects, animals that bite, people being mean, ornery, disagreeable. That's the curse. The New Jerusalem will be perfect. For ancient readers, the sea was a raging, threatening, and fearful place that the Lord often had to calm. Furthermore, for them, the sea signified chaos, disorder, and evil. In Revelation, it is the home of the dead. It is also associated with the abyss, the place from which the beast comes. Therefore, when John says, there will be no more sea in the new heaven and earth, he is saying that there will be nothing to harm you or cause God's people fear. There won't be any chaos, any death, or evil. Everything will be created new. It'll be like the world was supposed to be when God created Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, before Satan came down and tried to take over. He told God, I could run it better. God said, go ahead and try. He gave him the earth, and me and you were seeing the result. A lot of violence, lots of death, lots of violence and crimes. There are a lot of good things too, but without this influence of Satan, it would have been like a Garden of Eden. And that's where we're going back to after the rapture and after Armageddon. In Revelation, it is the home of the dead, the sea, and it is also associated with the abyss, the place from which the beast comes. Therefore, when John says, there will be no more sea in the new heaven and earth, he is saying that there will be nothing to harm or cause you or cause you fear. No chaos, no death, no evil. Everything will be created new. The New Jerusalem will be the eternal ruling place of Christ, as the Old Jerusalem was his temporary ruling place during the millennium. The holy city originates from heaven and from God. All of its inhabitants are also Christ's bride, the redeemed. The New Jerusalem is both the bride and the new place where he dwells. So we are special. Humans are special. We're different than the angels. The angels are very powerful, but we are going to be given this paradise to live in. Revelation 21 says, "A loud voice from heaven indicates that important words follow. This announcement is about God, but not spoken by him. The tabernacle of God, his dwelling place, his immediate presence, will now be on the new earth." The multiple references to God in Revelation 21 emphasize his all-consuming presence and intent to dwell with his creation. The promise God made to Abraham that all nations would be blessed in him. They shall be his people. Those promises will now be fulfilled. The disappearance of death, sorrow, crying, and pain, which will be awesome, represents a total reversal of the curses found in Genesis 3. When they entered human history, all the evils present in the old creation will have been removed with the destruction of the old heaven and the old earth. The tears that God will wipe away are not tears of shame or guilt, but tears caused by the pain, death, the persecution, and other hardships that God's people suffered on this present earth. I think part of the exaltation we'll have on the new earth is going to be that we remember how it was in the old earth. We will be so grateful and happy that we made the right choice and that we are no longer part of that Satan-infested earth. The disappearance of death, sorrow, crying, and pain represents a total reversal of the curses found in Genesis 3. When they entered human history, all the evils present in the old creation will have been removed with the destruction of the old heaven and earth. The tears that God will wipe away are not tears of shame and guilt, but tears caused by pain, death, and persecution and other hardships that his people suffered on this present earth. The New Testament contains some 30 passages where the words sorrow and sorrowful are found. These passages always paint a picture of grief, pain, distress, and travail. Sorrow here is the same word translated wailing or mourning. W.A. Criswell says it so eloquently. There are no stonecutters chiseling epitaphs in glory, no graves on the hillsides of heaven. There are no obituary columns in the newspapers, no funeral processions over the streets of gold. And it says in Revelation 21 also, "Behold, I," is the first clear instance of God speaking directly since Revelations 1 verse 8. And his message is directed to the whole world. make all things new, is the climax of the book of Revelation. The Alpha and the Omega is an expression indicating God's absolute sovereignty over all things, as the beginning and the end. God is the beginner of the beginning and the ender of the end. He stands at the beginning of creation, and now at the end in a new creation. Every individual who has overcome the world by faith will inherit all 7 benefits promised in Revelations 2 and 3. This promise fulfills and includes the rest of the promises. And I will be his God. Reminds the reader of Genesis 17. When God made this very promise to Abraham and many others to Abraham, it is a provision for every saint, as is the saint's eternal status as God's son. The rightful heirs to all the promises of God in the Davidic covenant will have the privileges of rule and intimacy with the Father. Here is a stark contrast between those who will be cast into the lake of fire and those who will have tasted the water of life. Although several types of sins are listed, those who